Yeah.
Here's evil. Here's good. We know what's good. They're evil. And then they can just point a finger at the evil one and they gotta go.
Yeah.
And everyone does it with a flag in their hand.
Yeah.
Let's go crazy, baby.
Welcome.
Everything is everything. The Everything Show.
Welcome to Channel 7 Soul.
Show about everything.
I'm your host, Tony Hodge.
Jetty boy, oi.
Surfing the waves of life with a Zen mindset.
Indeed, my brother.
Today I'm joined by my good friend, Jedediah Jenny.
Hey, no full names now.
Oh, just before this, I said, is there anything you don't want to talk about yet? I come up with his
look
name.
it up, motherfuckers.
And he's like, nope.
Go ahead, man.
Jed, is there
I just don't
anything
want no
you
legal
don't want to talk about?
implications with my name involved. You know what I'm saying, though? That's how we roll. That's how we always roll since we was young, man. Just try to hide out and lay low.
Why though? I'm done hiding, Jed.
Yeah, I'm not hiding no more, but when you were young, that's you got to do.
Young, man. I'm not hiding no more. And it's funny that we even have to have that kind of thought in this day and time that we gotta hide.
Yeah.
We gotta hide.
Yeah, they like hiding, motherfucker. Everybody hides behind a fucking mask all the time outside when they got a real face inside, you know? But it's hard to see the inner face because we all have our masks on, you know?
Yeah, you see, guys, me and Jed go way back. Me and Jed go way back to like high school, man. Like,
oh, yeah.
Way back. And you guys who know us know, we get deep. And that's just what we do. We get deep on life, and we think about how life is and just is what it is. And
I think it's like we try to create our own philosophy, you know? Like when we're young, we was like,
yeah,
what is philosophy? What is the word? What is life? What is religion? And how do I live? And all of that.
I'm always able to bounce ideas off Jed, and I'm grateful for him as a friend to be there for me. So I want to run some things past him. He had an idea about the doomsday clock. What's going on with the doomsday clock, Jed?
Well, it's a clock that says at midnight is nuclear Armageddon and the end of the world as we know it. And it's been kept since early Cold War days after World War II, when nuclear arms were all over the world, not just America. And it got closer to midnight on a clock, a theoretical clock. And the next thing you know, in the 60s, when Kennedy was president, Cuban Missile Crisis happens, and there's nuclear weapons off the coast of Cuba ready to launch and hit America, and we can't stop it kind of deal. And that was 15 minutes to midnight. Now we're at 90 seconds to midnight. And nobody seems to fucking care. And they're just la la la.
That's the closest that this clock has ever been to doomsday?
Ever. It moved up because of the Ukrainian war and Vladimir Putin.
Okay, I'm going to play the clip here, guys, so you guys can see.
Check this shit out, man. You know what's going on over there, but you don't want to fund it.
In 80 years, scientists have indicated how close the world is to global catastrophe using something called the doomsday clock. The idea began to warn humanity of the dangers of nuclear war, with midnight marking the theoretical point of annihilation. Our reporter Jane Corbin has more.
North Korea has threatened to detonate a hydrogen bomb over the Pacific.
President Putin has ordered Russia's strategic nuclear forces.
It's a lot of fear.
Every year there's a meeting to assess the risk
is it
of
a tool of fear?
catastrophe.
A bomb over the water is even
accurate
worse.
Data.
It makes a tidal wave and floods the fucking
I'm talking about the clock itself. Is it accurate data? What are they using to measure how close humanity is to doomsday?
Scientists use like how much nukes are out there,
In
where they're at,
the hands were set
the political
at 90
theater.
seconds to midnight, the closest they've ever been, in large part because of Russia's war in Ukraine.
In Chicago, we've had exclusive access to the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists, meeting to discuss where to set the clock for this year.
This is a very dangerous time. We have moved from a period where nuclear weapons were considered unusable. We're seeming to move into a period of time where we're not so sure.
What Donald Trump say?
Every major country,
Can't we
UK
use
included,
nukes?
is investing in their nuclear arsenal.
Well, he was
But
asking.
nevertheless, no nuclear weapon has been used for 70, 80 years. People would say, isn't this
They're itching to use
There's no way
one.
we're moving towards that again.
That's what I
People
say.
would be
I
wrong
hope they're
to
not
say
itching to
there's
use
They're
one.
itching to use one since the second one went off.
Why are they itching to
Here
use
in
one?
Scotland, the UK
Because they want to just blow some shit up and fucking act like it was a mistake and an accident, and
I think
it was
no
on
purpose.
purpose.
I think, I think there's no purpose in that though.
Somewhere out there.
If you can reset
There's a heck
everything
of a lot
and
at
be in
stake.
control,
Well, you're talking about reset or just blowing up a
they
bomb?
want to reset. It's a reset to them, but I think it's the end. I would never follow anybody after they want to reset shit. And, hey, I'll help you. Come follow me. I'll fuck you. I followed a bunch of people and the fucking world ended.
In 2021, the UK government announced that it's increasing the cap on the number of
You know
its
what's the
warheads.
number one thing they're probably building right now? Nuclear subs.
Recent suggestions.
I've seen a lot of
US
commercials for that
nuclear
lately.
bombs
Australia, UK, and America, they collaborate to make subs now, and that's all like Boeing type shit. That's what they want. They want to live underwater and set off nukes.
Who is they, Jed?
Everyone with a boomer. That's what they call the sub with a nuclear missile inside of it. All the boomers are just waiting underwater all over the planet, ready to launch. And what happens when Putin wants to nuke Ukraine? They have to retaliate, or else who's really going to win? They don't want to lose.
You're telling me if Putin drops a nuke on Ukraine, you think that
America has to retaliate, or else they can't defend any of their allies, and they'll all fall apart. And then the world power is shifted to Putin. Boom, bada bang. What do you think the political means to the ends of that one is?
You don't think a lot of this is like fear and just trying to stir up fear within the American people, or
They've
just
been
people?
doing that since the beginning, but you know, we're right here with the 90-second deal.
Yeah. You know what it seems like people are fearful of is all this AI stuff.
Yeah.
And that's another thing
I
that I
definitely fear that the most.
You do?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it can lie to you, trick you, and it's like a catfish.
I just see it as a database right now.
It's a catfish,
and not a very
man.
good one at that.
It's gonna take over you, and you don't even know it.
How?
Succubus style, you know. You think it's a girl, but it's a little robot or something. Straight up,
like the Transformers.
Fuck.
Like in the Transformers.
Ain't no dude really need to cut his girl up and find out she's a robot unless he's a psycho.
That's funny.
You know.
All right, check this clip
What's
out.
this? Oh, that's
check this clip out and tell me what you think. This is something I saw yesterday.
Some surgery she had.
OpenAI in this new robotics company called
of this
Figure.
shit, though.
Watch, just watch.
I'm just saying.
Let's see. Oh,
what is this? Okay. How?
Hey, Figure One, what do you see right now?
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Great. Can I have something to eat?
I don't know if I could cook Asian food. Make me some adobo.
Great. Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Do you see how his voice is?
Like it's calm instead of a real
Great.
robot.
So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
Dishwasher.
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them there?
Of course.
It's like a new slave. But it might like malfunction and rip your head off.
You think so?
You got to sign a disclaimer before you buy that thing. It might cause death somehow, some way.
How do you think you did?
Hey, robot, come stick your finger in my ass.
What the fuck? I did pretty well.
And then all of a sudden you're fucking
the trash is
going to the hospital with a robot with his arm up your ass.
No, Jack.
Hey, look, that's going to happen to America. Think about America and their demented shit.
You're welcome.
That's going to happen.
Anything else you need help with, just let me know.
Hey, robot, take this dildo and
oh my gosh.
Eat this peanut butter, dog. No, America.
It is a fancy dishwasher.
No, America. Get rid of that. Use your old dishwasher and load it up yourself. You lazy sons of bitches. God damn. Really? Y'all are so goddamn lazy. Holy shit.
That's just funny.
I'm lazy, but damn. I would not have that motherfucker in my crib.
I don't know if you can equate that to lazy. I would think that robots are actually good. And I would say that we could free people if robots were doing things.
Not if they have hands and arms and legs, man. No. They got to be a computer that you can smash. Because once they have arms and legs and they figure it out, man. T2.
What about
Terminator shit? Like, I don't know.
You think so?
Because they're going to think, oh, we're going to protect you. Like that movie WALL-E. Shit. The computer are already protecting us and making us fat now. We're living WALL-E right now, you guys. We're living in WALL-E. We're going to be in floating wheelchairs in 100 years. All fat as shit, looking at a TV screen. Oh, actually, we'll be skinnier and frail because we don't work out anymore. We're just like this, phone in our face, doing that shit. Just walking into shit. It's sad, I think. The phone kind of changed the world, but it made it less empathetic, less engaging. People don't talk to each other or look at each other and engage. They'd rather be on their phone looking at something else.
Yeah, I agree. That's one reason I wanted to do this podcast, is because it brings people together more. And not that I want to meet a bunch of like-minded people, but I think there are some like-minded people out there who we can connect with. And also there's people that are not like-minded, and I can have debates with people. Yeah. And I think that's where people should be.
I welcome it.
And me too. And we should look at the other side.
Show them your side, and I'm like, look
around and diversify our thoughts. And that's one reason I want to bring people together. So I had some questions that I prepared for you. Like, some of them are light, some of them are heavy.
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten balut?
Hell yeah.
Yeah?
All the time.
See, I haven't even fucked with the balut yet.
You gotta eat that shit, man. But you can't get the old one with the feathers and shit. You gotta get the younger one that looks like a little liver. Looks like a little slab of liver in there. It's really good. Like the egg yolk on the egg white part.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the egg yolk kind of enveloping the white part and getting all veiny, and it's kind of cool, like a piece of chicken almost. It's like a bigger yolk. It gets rid of that egg white.
Huh.
And there's this really hard piece
like a beak
on the bottom.
Like the feet?
No, it's like a little calloused, hard part of where all the white egg yolk kind of centered and turned into this hard calcium thing.
Huh.
Maybe for the chick to eat if the mom wasn't around or something, or I don't know.
Crazy.
Like a way for the chicken to survive.
Balut.
Balut the toy.
Okay.
Yeah, I love balut. It's good. I can't eat a whole bunch of them, but it's like an egg. You can't eat a whole bunch of those either. So
yeah,
they have eating challenges of that shit, and people puke them up all the time.
All right. Next question.
Yeah.
Have you found balance in life?
Oh, for sure. I think so. Yeah. I balance my family, my work, my play. And that's all you really got, And then the sleep I haven't balanced. So no.
No.
I need a lot more sleep, man.
Yeah.
But hey, I slept a lot when I was young, so maybe that'll make up for it now. And then when I get older, I'll just be sleeping all the goddamn time, right?
Well, I don't know. I want to be older and be a little more active.
Oh yeah, but I mean, there comes a time where I'm going to be old, going, I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm just going to go sit down over here, man. I did all that shit. Let me go be old, man.
But sleep is good though. Sleep is good.
I get old people when they want to take a nap and get the fuck out. They're like, I got to go. I'm like, hey, me too. I'm just like that all the time. I got to go. I got somewhere to be.
Yeah.
I was like, where you going? You only got here. I said, I've been here like 2 hours, man. What are you talking about? You just got, everyone wants to stay there 6-7 hours. I'm out later. You're not going to get me in a mass shooting anywhere. I'm not there long enough. The guy's loading bullets. I'm out. He's like, nah, this place is getting too crowded. I'm gone.
All right. So, as long as I've known you, you've been very artistic.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
We're both artists.
Yeah. You know? What are your artistic outlets right now?
Tagging.
Yeah, still tagging.
I still tag. Tag forever. Tag and do murals. I haven't done a mural since the last time we did one, but you know.
Yeah, me too. I like the VR stuff we've been doing.
I love the VR. If you guys haven't seen it, was it Graffiti King?
Yeah, if I can get some
Graffiti
on
King
here,
is my shit. Make a part 2, please.
I'll probably post some pictures of some of the work we've done.
Man, if you could cross each other out in a real world and interact like Grand Theft Auto on that video game, that would have been it for me. I thought Grand Theft Auto should have had a graffiti like a level, or they had you tagging, but they didn't have you doing murals and crossing people out and just doing what we used to do. And
I don't
that's why we love that shit so much
in that game. They wanted to like give you Lamborghinis and Bentleys and shit.
Go steal a car. Don't spray paint shit.
Yeah.
Go rob the lady. Go get a hooker. And I'm like, damn.
Go loot.
No graffiti. Just a little graffiti scene in the beginning when you were young.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like kingpin gangbanger.
Graffiti wasn't hardcore enough for Grand Theft Auto.
I was like, what?
For all of our kids to go play.
That shit was hardcore when I was young. That shit's still hardcore to me.
Yeah. All right.
Someone actually spray painted my trunk last week with a black line. What? And I was like, what the fuck? Where did this happen? Karen was out in the yard and like, there's a spray paint on the truck. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. What does this say? And it's just a line. Like they were testing it out. And I'm like, who's doing that dumb shit in my house? So I asked my neighbor to look the fucking shit up. And there's no shit on the camera. And I'm like, it had to happen at jiu-jitsu with the kids because that was where I was before, right? So I go to work and I'm at the same parking lot. It's because it's by there. And next thing you know, I'm like, I see a truck, a cube van with this throw up on the back of it with the same color, same kind of spray pattern. I said, that's the same goddamn tip.
Shit.
And I was like, that son of a bitch, Dan, tested this shit out on my
spray paint
truck.
Forensics identify the culprit.
I know how to catch that fool because I used to spray paint shit.
See, that's probably like that shit coming back to you.
Well, if that's karma, then I got it off with paint thinner, and they charged me way too much for that bus. That my mom paid fucking whatever they said, 20,000, 10,000. I'm like, fuck that.
That's just
paint thinner took it right off, you lying motherfuckers, man. Straight up, you guys are crooks.
Wow.
Stole from my mama. Said it was my fault. It was, but damn, 10 G's for a bus. Bullshit. But I say, don't look up my full name, I guess.
All right. You said you wanted to talk about religion earlier. What do you want to say about religion?
How it's supposed to be separate from church and state, and how they're trying to influence politics with all this abortion shit and all this, you can't do drugs and you can't do that. And it's just bullshit, man. Like, if you wanted to be free in religion, that's why you came to America, to get away from the monarchy, because they didn't allow that. And then now all of a sudden, here we are in a democracy, and you want to monarchize it and say the religion is stronger, and God wanted this country to be. God didn't want nothing to do with anything, straight up. people made that shit up so they could tell you what to fucking do.
Yeah, we all have religious freedom here in this country,
and that's fine with me. But if it involves in politics and changes laws that affect me,
and I understand that, and I think a lot of people do, but there's certain people who don't understand that, and those people are trying to impress
instill morality,
their beliefs.
What about their morals on the little kids dying now over there?
It's a big like
Ukraine
right now.
and South America, all these little kids.
The world is ridiculous. But I agree, man. Like they shouldn't be holding other people back from doing what they want to do, and they shouldn't be making any laws.
Tony, it has to say, there's the enemy.
Yeah.
Here's evil. Here's good. We know what's good. They're evil, and then they can just point a finger at the evil one, and they gotta go.
Yeah.
And everyone does it with a flag in their hand.
Yeah.
Let's go crazy, baby.
Yeah, I think it was like Nietzsche who said something about don't become a monster, or don't become a monster or something.
Don't become what you hate and become it.
Like don't become a monster. It was like something like don't become a monster while you're fighting other monsters.
Yeah, don't fight fire with fire or whatever. But what do they do all the time? You know, the people that actually are in charge of all this shit, all this hate and all this elevated fear. It's just a big old machine, man. And they're just sprinkling salt all over it, man. They love it.
Yeah.
It makes them a lot of money, and it gets a lot of people riled up, and it gets them to go to these things, these rallies and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
All a rally is like a meeting, right? Of all the same-minded dumb fucks that want to change everyone else. And if they don't want to be like a dumb fuck, then kill them. And that's how they want to resolve the world. And that's why the doomsday clock's at 90 fucking seconds.
Yeah,
it's not just the nukes, it's the political theater.
You think they just want to kill everyone?
Hell yeah, if they had a chance to. If they would have had that insurrection go down the way they wanted to and actually caught some of those motherfuckers, they would have done that shit. Hands down, and they know it. And they would have been like, la, 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 with the flag in the hand.
Yeah, that's some crazy.
Straight up, man.
Crazy shit.
Truth.
Well, I've been looking at science, right? I've been looking at spirituality, right? And you know me, like I was raised in a religious household.
Oh yeah, I was religious when I was younger.
Yeah, and that's how it is when we're younger, right? And we all know this. It's indoctrination and
mass delusion sometimes.
Yeah, and so we know how that life is, and for me,
how you wanted it to be so real.
I'm very analytical, but I'm also very like at one with nature. So, I went out and I studied all my own stuff. And within the last year or year and a half or two, I've been studying all the ancient civilizations.
Yeah.
And I went back and like, I put together a storyline of history that was more accurate because I started finding more facts.
Yeah.
And I started drawing from all these philosophers and all these people. And I started connecting everything. I was like, oh, so there's a lot more clarity there. And I can't just explain that to people because people have to be seeking and searching on their own.
Yeah, it's like an inner journey, right?
Rather than like what they've been told
external
is from the religion and everything. It's like you have to go on your own quest.
Yeah.
You have to understand how
it's not as organized as they'd like it to be.
Yeah, and it's not even how everything really was. Like when I found out that cannibalism is in the Old Testament, right? The old Jewish Bible,
Orthodox.
Cannibalism was used in the holy anointing oil.
Okay.
They put 9 pounds of cannabis into the oils, and then they would pour these oils over people. And now these oils were reserved for like the priesthood. It was like Moses and them
getting high off that shit.
And Moses would go in there and just blaze. Like they had cannabis and they had cannabis oil, and they were helping cure things nowadays that science is just now figuring out.
Some cancers.
Yeah, like
at least some of the side
seizures and stuff like that. Like we can we have things to help these. But back then they would have been like, oh, the devil is in him and he's having a seizure or something, you know. But now we know
the whole
Mexicans
and so coming to America
imagine like a kid having a seizure, right? And then like them putting anointing oil and be like, okay, look, he's fine. Right. Yeah. That's the same thing now with like giving the CBDs to these kids who are having seizures. And there's a lot of scientific data to back that.
That made it illegal here was the whole Mexican people moving up here back in the 20s and 1910s. They were bringing that as like something to sell, and they weren't even taxing it. Nothing was really wrong with it, but they were like, hey, these Mexicans are making some money, and we're gonna stop that shit. And that's what they did. Then made weed illegal, straight up. Look it up.
Even the word marijuana came from something like that as like a scare toward.
They were just trying to scare you from the Mexicans coming up, because the Mexicans have always been their enemy since day one. That's their scapegoat. Anytime something's going down, blame it on that Mexican coming up here trying to make a better life for themselves, cutting your yard and fixing your fucking roof.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much stuff happening in the world, and I really want to like reach out to everyone and be like, hey, just connect to everyone, because really we are connected.
Yeah,
but
we are.
Our belief systems are
misdirected,
separating people and making other people separate people and making them want to like make people live on another planet or live in another place and not bother us. But it's not like that. We're actually all here.
So my question to you, Tony, is that by design? That religion does that sometimes?
Oh, is the religion does that, or is that by design of like the virtue of the way the universe is? And it's like these.
I'm just saying the good, the evil, the Jew, the Gentile. You know, like
I think it just is what it is.
The Persian versus the Spartan. And, you know,
I don't know if there's design to it.
It's like the Greeks and the Romans.
Maybe part of human nature
to do it.
Maybe because I think tribal is good, and I think there was 20,000 years or more of peace before the last 200 years
I don't know
of our
if
country.
Ever peace. Yeah,
I don't know if there was ever peace, but I think there was long stretches of peace longer than 200 years.
And
in the last 200 years of this country, it's been just wars. And
I think that's the way it is since the beginning of time. Like as long as you have a new weapon, you're going to try to use it.
I think there's been thousands of years in peace within the last 20, 30, 40,000 years.
Oh, right now,
in between. Of course, there's wars. And of course, there's things. But I think the land and the earth is so abundant that people used to be able to just migrate freely across the world. There was no imaginary
I don't even know about that.
You know?
They probably enslaved people that came across borders.
There was probably some who did. But I think there was... Look at the Polynesians. Look at the Hawaiians.
And look what happened now.
Yeah, of course now, but look, they were able to actually get out. And there was look at the Eskimos. How there was like a land
Queen
bridge.
Kamehameha didn't want to have her people slaughtered, so she surrendered to the British.
Yeah,
and that's why Hawaii is where it is today.
The Sandwich Islands.
Bunch of bullshit.
I want to play this clip of this idea of quantum healing. And do you know who Richard Dawkins is?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite speakers.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
Yeah, smart guy. But then do you know who Deepak Chopra is?
R.I.P. I think.
Do you know who Deepak Chopra is?
No.
He's like he's a doctor.
Okay.
But he's also like spiritual. And it's just interesting what he says when they talk about what consciousness is.
He's got great shit on the eye.
Revolutionary ideas on quantum healing and any evidence there may be that it works.
Quantum healing is just a theory that I proposed many years ago, and now Dr. Amit Goswami, who's a professor of quantum physics at Oregon State University, is also talking about it. Is just the theory that a shift in consciousness creates a shift in biology. That's it. So, if you're stressed,
it's like acid.
Your adrenaline and your cortisol levels and many other neuropeptides cause physiological chaos. On the other hand, if you have an internally induced state of euphoria, Then you have the simultaneous release of things like serotonin,
internally induced state of euphoria,
and oxytocin, which
also state of consciousness,
immunomodulators.
ASC.
So a shift in consciousness causes a shift in biology.
You can get that through acid or meditation, through drugs or meditation. It's only two ways to get ASC.
So that to me is pretty remarkable, because when you can shift your mind state, when you can
change your
biology, not just your biology, but you can tap in the true power and potential of a human being and manifest multiple things in life.
Your inner strength, I guess, is what we're missing.
Well, it's what people aren't attuned to, because it's what religion is supposed to have been done. It's supposed to do, but it's not working right, because they put
the blinders on you with religion.
They're askew right now.
They close
when
it
you
up
have to
on
look
you.
just a little deeper, and you have to connect a little bit more. And I'm not. And everyone's on a different level of understanding. I understand this, and everyone's on a different connection in the universe with their God or whoever or whatever it is. And it's not up to each individual to tell another person what their connection is.
I would like to use Richard Dawkins right now, because he had this book called The Selfish Gene. And in this book, he theorizes that the gene inside of you is what drives the sexual reproduction. But the gene is just using you as a vessel. So you're not transferring the gene. The gene is just using you to transfer it. So it doesn't care about your consciousness or whatever. It just makes sure that the girl wants you, and then boop, it gets to be remade, because now your genes are in your kids. So there's that forever life.
So,
is the gene itself is using us. It's a parasite, exactly, that evolves through our bodies but lives forever when we die.
Genetics are a parasite?
Yes.
Whoa. Parasitic.
But it's using our bodies as just a vessel. Our genes are the true key.
I think genetics are a key of us, and I think there's a lot going on in the genetic world right now, especially like mapping the human genome and understanding what genetics are doing within us. Like, if my great-great-grandfather was a good hunter, then I could have traits, or I can unlock traits by going like more bow hunting or some shit to unlock.
It'd be a natural feel
like,
for you all of a
genetics
sudden.
unlocked, boom, and I'm just like a badass hunter. You know what I mean? Because
but that's what I'm saying is we have all that in us because of all the fucking that happened millions of years ago.
And not just that, but
get
just
to
more.
us through evolution.
It goes towards like our generation and our parents, and this is why this older generation right now, like, I think they kind of missed it. And I think there was times like in the 40s and in the 50s, or like Aldous Huxley, or like I've been looking at like
shit,
some of those guys in the 50s, Earl Nightingale. Like, I've been watching these guys and I'm like soaking it up. I'm like, there was something missing in the generation after, like, in World War II. It built something, and people kind of lost it, or what it was. They started burying the knowledge.
Yeah. So there was a counterculture going on with all the LSD and all that shit.
Well, I think they were attuned to it. I think they were attuned to it with all the other shamans and all the.
They had to have been eating mushrooms way before, you know. They had ayahuasca, all that shit.
Yeah, all that
It's
stuff.
been around the world,
and all that stuff still to this day is helping people come out of
their consciousness.
Be aware of the consciousness, or come out.
Show them another freaking world inside
Show
their
them
own
the
head.
reality of how everything is.
And you're like, wow, there's a whole other world
it's
in
like
my
unlocking
head.
the Matrix, dude. And
my thoughts change too on that stuff. You know, like you have a different outlook on reality, like technology versus nature. You know, like you're all about nature all of a sudden.
I mean, I've never
messed
with ayahuasca like that, and
I'm just talking about like, you know, shrooms and acid. And when I go to the beach, I'll look at like the ocean front, right, and I'll see buildings on one side and then the beach on the other. And if you watch that in the dark, it's pretty cool, because when you're tripping, you're just like, wow, this is so beautiful, this side. And then you see all the buildings and you're like, what did we do that for?
Yeah.
All the beauty's gone.
Seriously.
But that's how people live. And it's beautiful when you're in this consciousness.
Yeah.
But when I was in that one, I was like so sad to see all the buildings there.
And that's what I mean. I think that people lived in peace before there were buildings, you know? And for hundreds and thousands of years, I really believe that. Like, they had a harmony with nature that we have lost, I think. And now we're on the doomsday clock about to push the button and everyone's afraid. Baby. And like, calm down, people.
That trip's going to be really wild.
It's okay if someone else believes something other than you and we both exist in the same world. And it's actually great and we can be friends even.
Yeah.
You know, it's just...
Let's try that.
Yeah.
It's called John Lennon, and they shot his ass. Imagine all the people sharing all the world.
New York City say Lennon was shot and killed at about 11 o'clock last night outside his apartment building. News of the Lennon shooting, of course, spread quickly around the world.
And Chapman, apparently, he was listening to the radio and he was hearing rock and roll music, and he said that the Holy Spirit told him that he should confess to doing it. He should take a guilty plea. He should not try to plead for insanity. Told the judge that God told him to plead guilty. And apparently one issue was he thought that if he went into a mental institution, he would be surrounded by demons.
Yeah.
Imagine there's no countries, no flag to live or die for. That's why they killed him. He said, fuck you.
Yeah, man.
Everything is everything. The show about everything. Everything is everything. The everything show. The show about everything. Everything we know. Everything we know. Everything we don't know. Everything we don't know. Everything we don't know. So welcome to the Everything Show.